Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah,
So if we can take our seats, we can kind of begin.
Hi, thank you very much. It's been an amazing day hearing so many different perspectives and so many different practices and observations. I wanted to begin with looking at an overview of a couple of my projects because I think they respond to a lot of the issues that have been brought up today. There's been a lot of questions about getting people involved, getting people to step inside an institution. What does it take to get people in there? What is the sense of how can we program in a different way? How can we structure our offerings in a different way so that it attracts more people? And there's been a lot of talk about a commonality and about how to find this kind of commonality across kind of different sectors and different populations. This surprises me in some way because there is one thing in common that we all have. And despite the name of this conference, it hasn't been talked about that much. Regardless of income, of status, of race, of gender, everyone shares one thing, and that's the city itself. And for the last 6 years, since I moved on from Urbis, I've worked in the city itself with the shared commonality to create projects which kind of extend themselves to the general public for one reason. This morning it was said that culture has changed. Our relationship with culture has changed, and that is true. Our relationship with the city has also changed. And if you combine that relationship with culture changing and the relationship with the city changing, we need a new paradigm of creating and operating culturally in cities, in the city. Jackson Pollock, when asked why kind of the departure from figurative painting, he said in the context of his time, he said, this is the age of radio, this is the age of air flight, this is the age of, looking into space. He goes, the same technique cannot be used again. New times need new techniques. Culturally, that's what we're faced with. We're in a new time. We need new cultural techniques. I view this as kind of hacking the urban, is a phrase that I've used. Hacking culture, hacking our relationship with culture. Let's take, for example, public sculpture. I'm probably not going to win any friends by saying this, but I find it incredibly arrogant to drop a piece of public sculpture into a space that has very little to do with the people who are actually using that space, about them creating it. When these people go home, they can go on the internet and they can choose, they can curate the videos that they watch, they can curate the pictures that they see, they can create their entire online world of friends and images and sounds. But they can't do that in the city. In the city, we're still operating on a top-down cultural model of presenting people, saying, we've decided what you want to see. So let's go back to that public sculpture moment. If people are going to have a piece of public sculpture in their city, why can't the public create it themselves? This is Sculpture Point by the Spanish sculptor Martí Guixé. This is a project I produced in Amsterdam as part of the Urban Play project. You see in the upper left-hand corner this little girl. In terms of kind of the community, in terms of getting people involved, the day after this was installed, everyone began turning out, and you saw kind of these wonderful crews of people out there chipping away, beginning creating the sculpture. The next morning, this little girl appeared with this bag of kitchen tools she dragged over, and she began kind of carving out that little face that you see there. She took great pride in it. She was there forever. And I had a long talk with her mom right after her mom came up and basically said, what the hell are you doing taking photographs of my daughter? So those moments really bring people together. And in the upper right-hand corner, again, I do need to explain that I've got the wonderful kind of pleasure here of reducing kind of what's normally an hour's talk into about 3 minutes. So you'll forgive kind of if we go a little quick. In the upper right-hand corner is when it begins taking shape, when the piece of public art is beginning to be created by the public. At other times, it can be a different perspective. This from a project I did in Porto. I did a media campaign saying, what could you suggest that would improve kind of your daily life in Porto? And one person said, oh, the bus stops are always overcrowded, and besides that, they're boring. And so this person said, I get an idea, and I kid you not, this is how the thought process went. Let's create something that looks like a brontosaurus or like the Loch Ness Monster, but serves as a chair. And then we can attach it to the bus stop to provide extra seating, and can just is a nice piece of sculpture. This was created. This was done through rapid prototyping, very cheaply, less than 3 days from idea to execution. That's the other thing. Let's get in quick. Let's move. Let's get in with a solution and let's get out again. Okay? That's how we need to be operating. We need to kind of be a much more quick operator, because that's the pace at which everyone else is consuming. This was another thing from Porto. A young person said, I've got an idea. People spend so much time on Facebook playing Farmville. And the idea was this: what if we had Farmville for real in Porto? I thought, that is an amazing idea. I love the phrase Farmville for real. So these people designed these little kind of plastic things which can just be printed out on a normal kind of heavy-duty printer on plastic sheets, cut, snapped into place, and you begin creating these kind of planting pods just out and around the city of Porto. It's design, it's agriculture, it's public engagement, it's everything we've been talking about. And no one has to enter anything to take part in this. This from Urban Play, Moving Forest by NL Architects. One thing that people sometimes say about projects like this, they say, well, that's very nice. Those are kind of attractive things. But how do they feed into the infrastructure of the city? How do they kind of contribute? This project was really an amazing project I was quite pleased with. You see on the left-hand corner, this, the basic argument was, why does all the greenery in the city have to be fixed into place? Why can't we kind of put greenery where we want greenery in the city? So they created these things. That's only half of it. What then happened is, as people began moving these carts around the city, which were GPS tracked, what began happening, the GPS tracking wasn't to prevent them from being stolen. It was so the citizens were telling the city where they wanted green things to be. And you see in the upper right-hand corner this very desolate, sort of blank public plaza. Someone said, I want greenery here. And what began happening was you were crowdsourcing the landscaping of the city through a cultural project. And, whoops, what happened there? The last project I'll talk about is one of the most well-known. Stefan Sagmeister created this project for the Urban Play project, which I produced in Amsterdam. It took 150 volunteers 1 week. That material that you see there is 300,000 pennies, 300,000 Eurocent coins. One side is a normal bronze coin, the other side is painted blue. The whole purpose of this was so people could kind of remix the coins, could turn it over, etc. In the upper left-hand corner, you see the people putting it together. Again, it took 1 week of constant work by 150 people, and you see the sense of scale in the middle. You see the two individuals there crossing that plaza. In the lower right-hand corner is the police sweeping the whole thing up into one big pile. The story, which is a very long story, now reduced as with everything else, is that someone called them up and said, people are putting pockets full, that people are putting the coins in their pockets, which we knew would happen. But the police said, okay, well, we got to go, we got to take care of this. And so they called, and the next morning I kind of freaked out, as anyone would who's just produced a project of this scale, and found everything missing one morning. And so the police contacted me and said, Mr. Burnham, don't worry. The artwork is secure. They kind of didn't really get the point, but they were really proud of themselves. They were really proud. They said, you know, don't worry, we've got it. It's in about 27 bags in the back room right now. It's good. I said, well, thank you very much. Tears, kind of. But the last thing I'm going to say is that this project really is what kind of getting out there, working culturally outside of the usual channels and in new ways and in the common environment of the city means. Because after I found that whole thing missing, I began walking back towards my flat and was just, I mean, my head was spinning. I was somewhere between kind of laughing insanely and crying uncontrollably and, you know, not really sure what's going on. And I crossed this little footbridge. And right on the hand railing of the footbridge was a penny. And I thought, well, that's ironic, you know, I just lost 300,000 of them back there. So I picked up this penny, and it was blue on one side. And to me, that really meant a lot because already kind of the message of that artwork had begun going like this. And every once in a while in Amsterdam, people will still tell me, hey, you never guess what? Last night, I found a blue penny in my change. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Susan Chin.